Let's take a roll here. Jay Quellen. Where's Jay Quellen at? No Jay Quellen here? Yeah.
Do you mean Jacqueline?
Okay, so that's how it's gonna be. Y'all wanna play? Okay, then. I've got my eye on you, Jay Quellen. Balake. Where is Balake at? There's no Balake here today. Yes, sir.
My name's Blake. American history. What is American history? It is the history of America. Today, we are going to talk about the free silver movement.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the, anyone? The Great Depression, passed the, anyone? A tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which, anyone raised or lowered? Raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression.
Nope. Tell Trudy I need 25 copies of this and tell her my machine is broken.
A lot of students come in with, situation at home that's not ideal. So therefore, when they come into school, I want this to be their sanctuary. Like I want them to be excited to come to school, because before I'm able to deliver a substantial amount of content to them, they have to buy into me. They have to invest in the teacher itself.
I don't know. You might be ready.
I feel like every student needs a little bit of joy in their lives. It doesn't matter what it is. Every student.
Or how am I going to motivate this kid to learn? Or how can I phrase the question so that it's as rigorous as possible for every kid in my classroom? So here are some things you're probably wondering. Tell me more about some of the things that you think you saw in high-performing teachers' classrooms. And so I thought I'd give you a couple of examples of things that stood out. And I tried to choose a couple of just very different things because it was a really big, wide portfolio of types of things. I talked about the sublime and the mundane. Maybe I'll talk about the mundane first. And one observation is that efficiency matters. You only get so many minutes with your kids, and if you squander them, you can't get them back. And so great teachers have a light obsession, often, with efficiency. I should just note that when I talk about great teachers, all teachers are different. Some teachers are great using none of these tools, and God bless them for it, right? But in general, the theme that I see is a moderate to light obsession with efficiency. Here's the inside of one of those teachers' classrooms. This is a guy named Doug McCurry.
I don't fall asleep in this class. I just don't. And it's weird because I can remember falling asleep in every other class.
I've never had a teacher like him at all.
This class just keeps me interested, so there's no room for napping because you're learning.
Quit smoking! Careful, boy.
It's like, this guy is just crazy. He's just exploding with fun.
I don't know, you see a huge fireball burn in my hand and go up to the ceiling, and all that matters, I'm not going to have any kids sleeping, and every one of those people are out there asking how. And as soon as you get the kid asking how or why, I can rope them in and get that intrigue going. Once again, it's a love of learning.
He says, I could care less about Newton's third law. I want to teach you something for you to take outside of school.
That's what he's told us before, so.
So a do now is any activity that you have at the very beginning of class that helps you to set the tone for that day. Quickly, quietly, get started right away. Go ahead and get started right away on your do now. Thank you. Welcome, thank you. Kids come in and have something to do when they get to their desk. Okay, I got the back row working. And that something to do should go back to what they've worked on before and lead into what they're going to work on next. Often it's really good to put the instructions for the do now up on the board, so you don't even have to say that much. They can just read them and start following the directions. And then instead of having to talk to a lot of kids, we can just say, I really like the way you got started. Now go ahead and work on number 2. And they read it, and then you can move on.
Yeah, and do it on the back of that.
Okay.
Is that cool? You know what to do, right?
Yeah.
I've seen teachers that do nows as quick quizzes at the beginning of every day. I've seen teachers that do a few old questions that they want to work on. You know, it could be a reading passage that the kids have been working on. Ideally, something that's going to lead you directly into that day's lesson. I see Chartenay starting to add to find the average of her numbers. The other great thing about a do now is it's really excellent technique for classroom management. I see the middle row is completely engaged in what they're working on. It helps you to set the expectations from the very beginning of your class period. Glenn is finished with his do now and he's working on... So a kid walks into your classroom, they know, I'm gonna walk in, I'm gonna get my stuff out, and there's work for me to do. Get to work, and I want complete sentences. No goofing around, do it for real. The hardest part of a teacher's day is constantly getting kids back on task, getting your students back doing the work you want them to do. That's the hard part. All right, you have about 2 minutes to finish your do now. Stay focused, stay on task. So the best thing about a do now is we start to work right away, and now I'm keeping you on task as opposed to getting you back on task. Are there any questions? Okay, back to work.